My name is Callie Herring-Montiel. I'm here today with my husband, Mauro, and our 5-month-old baby, Kimani. I think they might be walking around.
We know how that
Kimani's
goes.
nap time.
We know how that goes. Awesome. And what kind of work do you guys get to do?
Sure. So we, through the Navigators, get to serve God in Ecuador. We serve a couple of different communities across the country, and we really think about our work as pursuing abundant life for all people on earth as it is in heaven. And we do that through combining education initiatives with spiritual discipleship and mentorship. With the education side, we're able to address abundant life here, the way that Jesus met people's needs as he walked the earth, and through spiritual mentorship and discipleship, we get to address the eternal side and walk alongside of those as we all draw near to God.
This is one of the questions I asked you today, but I asked it when I had you do the video for the kids a couple months ago. But in your testimony, in your calling story, you said something about a church member telling you about the Great Commission and how some people are to send and some people to go, and you felt God was telling you to go. I'm butchering your quote, but if you could tell us again how you knew that you were supposed to be somebody who was supposed to go and what that person told you when you were young.
Yeah, I was a teenager, and in the church that I grew up in, a missionary who had been serving in Nepal came and spoke, and he shared that all of us in the family of God get to participate in the Great Commission. All of us can be prayers. Some of us are called to send and to give, and others are called to go. And at that moment, the Lord really spoke to my heart and said, Callie, you will go, you will serve me outside of your country.
Yeah, and when we shared that video, Miss Sandy Drake, she's in the white shirt right there. Sandy Drake came up to me and goes, well, I want to go see Callie and do what she's doing. So I emailed you together, but now you see each other in real life. So I invite you to talk more afterwards. But Sandy's like, I'm probably supposed to go see her in Ecuador. And Sandy would. She would get on a plane to see you. That's real. So that's very cool. What's one of the projects that you're working on lately that you're really excited about?
Yeah, it's actually interesting that I'm hearing you all talk about leadership this morning, because right before I left Ecuador to come on this trip back to the States, I get to work with a team called the Ansele River Project, and we serve a really remote rural region of Ecuador where you have to get on a boat and go a couple of hours upriver to be able to reach the communities that live there. And we have a small team, there's 4 of us, but a few of my team members came down from the river communities to work with me in the city to do some planning for a leadership program for young people who live up in the rainforest. And so in this region of Ecuador, people have been made to believe that they don't have value. They've been treated like they're less than, like they don't deserve basic services like running water and access to schools and education. And we know that that's not true. We know that every single person there is made in the image of God, that he loves them dearly, and that there's so much potential inside of everyone, but in particular, there's something about this group of young people. And so we had 2 local leaders from the community come and start thinking about how can we provide a space for young people in the community to experience God's love, to know that they are deeply loved, that they have tremendous value, and also where they can learn to believe that their voice has power and that there's things that they can do to bring more abundant life to their community right now. And so getting to, in the planning phases for a program for teenagers into young adults to be able to explore and develop their leadership skills. So that's something that I'm really excited about.
Really exciting. In the work that you do, where are the pressure points? Where do you feel challenges, and where are the moments that make you wonder, like, is this working, or should we be here? Like, what's challenging?
That's a great question. So Ecuador has experienced a lot of challenges over the last 5 years in particular with security and instability, really since the pandemic started. Right now, there are cartels and gangs that have really taken control of Ecuador in ways that nobody thought would be possible. They have put their roots into the community where my husband is from, into the city where we live, into many communities across the country. And that has created a lot of challenges that make us oftentimes feel isolated or sometimes wondering, like, God, what are you doing here? when we see, so we think a lot, I've mentioned abundant life a few times. In John 10:10, Jesus says, the thief comes to steal and kill and destroy, but I have come that they may have life and have it to the full, or have abundant life, depending on the translation. And we see so much evidence of the stealing and killing and destroying that's happening all around us. And sometimes it can make us cry out and say, God, we know that you're a God of justice. We know that you want so much more. Like, how can these things continue to happen? And so those can be real challenges. And they also create this reaction in us of saying, of a need to respond, a call to respond and to pursue abundant life in the face of those challenges.
Yeah. I have about 5 more questions that I don't think we have time for. But one of the things I tell our church about having people like you in our lives is that somehow we might never put our feet on the ground that you walk on, but because of our friendship, because of our relationship, and the way that Park Ridge Presbyterian Church has mission partners, we somehow get to be a part of what you're doing. Like, how do you see God in and through that, and what's that like? How are we somehow a part of what you're making possible?
Yeah. So kind of I think back to that phrase of like, all of us can pray. Some of us are called to send and some of us are called to go. It's not possible for my family and I to go without senders. God uses you. He uses your gifts and your prayers to make it possible for us to serve him in Ecuador. So really, any story that I tell, everything that I'm a part of, you're a part of it too, because you are in partnership with us.
That's awesome. And if you were to tell another like young Callie, somebody who might be listening to that everybody could be a part of praying or sending, or some might be called to go, what would you tell somebody thinking about global mission work?
Yeah, my short answer would be to say, go and run with those beautiful feet.
Yeah.
Paul writes in Romans and quotes from Isaiah where he says, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. And also in Luke 10:2, Jesus is saying to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful and the workers are few. Therefore, pray to the Lord of the harvest to send out workers. The Onslow River project that I get to serve, I prayed for 6 years for God to send a team member there, and he sent me. And so, pray to the Lord of the harvest. He just might tell you to go. But also following right after that, he says, go, I'm sending you out as lambs among wolves. And something that I've learned over my years of being abroad as well is how important it is to have support and have community, because my story is long, but I spent some time trying to do things on my own, and it was incredibly painful. And so being able to now have partners in the work has reminded me that God's invited me into something so much bigger than just what I can do. And so go and run with those beautiful feet and do it in partnership and community.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Callie, for your time. You guys can talk to her more at coffee hour. Our mission committee supports the work that Callie's doing, but like any one of you could decide to be more involved and support more in your own ways. That's how a lot of missionaries get their support too, is from individual connections. So we're already a part of it. You're already a part of it. But if you're moved today or you want to know more, Callie can talk to you about those opportunities.
Thank you.
Thank you, Callie.